I mean, not to give Germany a pass or anything, not to give anyone a pass, but like quite often somebody will try to build a big database and it just doesn't work. How is this? We got one here in Canada. We've got one in New Zealand too, but I mean, New Zealand is a lot smaller than Germany, so I mean, I'm not gloating or anything. How is it only working in the East apparently? Yeah, like stuff like that. It takes a lot of coordination to have databases like that actually function. I mean, those of us, we play video games, I mean, we know about game launchers, right? Disastrous game launchers where the network just doesn't work. We see it all the time. All the time. Like you launch a new product and it just doesn't do what you think it should. So like it's not, again, not to give anyone a pass for failure, but it's not that unusual. Escron says they first wanted to do it themselves till they realize they don't even have the people who can do it. I'm sure they can figure it out eventually, it just... But yeah, no, like... Yeah. If it's the government, for example, and the government hasn't been doing that for a long time, they have to like hire the programmers, they have to rent the servers, and then they have to write the software. It is a lot of work. But not only Germany, right? Like the United States tried to do it. The United States tried to outsource it to the big tech companies, I think. And the tech companies like kind of just didn't do it either. Wasn't Google supposed to make one for the United States? Or something? Okay, I have added one block to the whole network. I mean, not really. I've added one extra block along both sides. Escron says they leased it to SAP, who does ERP software, completely overpaid them, of course. Harvard says, not that I heard, too many privacy issues in the US. Yeah, I think it was supposed to be opt-in, Harvard. Like, you download the app, you opt in, you know, to avoid the privacy things. But, you know, I don't think it actually works if you opt in, because people just don't opt in and then it doesn't do anything. Like, you ask several hundred million people, hey, can you please opt into this? And then, like, maybe 10% of them respond. It's not really helpful. It's yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult for everyone. Alright, let's go underground. Let's think about what I'm doing here. Alright, here's the tunnel part. I guess this is the easy part. We just line the... Oh, wait, don't just line this. I think I stopped that there. Well, we stopped that there. Stone blocks. And quartz blocks. But even in a more general sense, a lot of countries, in fact, almost all countries, you know what, all countries, I'm just gonna say it, all countries don't have like very good databases of their people. I mean, one of the big things, as we said, is privacy. But there are, you know, uses for databases of people. That doesn't necessarily involve tyranny. Like the fact that so many countries have problems setting up databases tracking COVID is because like databases of that sort didn't already exist, right? Ascron says, I personally think the people in charge don't even know how that stuff works. That's also true. That's also true. I mean, they're politicians, they're not software engineers, right? And, you know, you people spend years learning how to be software engineers. Oh, not that one. What am I doing? So I'm gonna do this one persistor at a time, I think. So let me just like get to this point here. And then there. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. Right, and then I go back the other way. Well, not go back the other way because this I want to 1, 2, 3. Oh, oops. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Like, not that one. And then glass. And slab. Right, and then the other side. I should close this off. Something, something. So I got 10 minutes left today. So the New Zealand COVID app, I'm not sure it's really much of a database. What they do is, you get an app on your phone that you can download yourself. And when you go to a location, you can like scan a code and it'll record where you've been. So you have to do it yourself. Manually, you have to scan the code to record on your app where you've been. And then, I don't know if it sends that data to a server or not. I don't think it does because of privacy issues. I think it's just if there's a problem, if COVID has appeared in a certain place, they will send to all the apps where the COVID has been, and then if on your app you have listed that you've been to one of those locations, it will tell you. I think that's how the New Zealand app works. Escron says a friend of mine who studies CS works part-time for the government. Basically, all supervisors have no idea of SE, software engineering, computer science. and expects them to do completely unrealistic work while underpaying them. Yeah. I mean, that sounds you know, that sounds expected. I mean, the fact that the supervisors don't know what they're doing is a problem. That's... Oh, that's not supposed to be like that. That's supposed to be this, and that, and not that one. And there. So the New Zealand app is not it's not automatic in the sense it doesn't automatically collect your data. You have to manually input the data yourself, kind of. And then it tells you if that data matches what they have for coronavirus alerts in their database. Ascron says they basically asked them to do a daily report on when the program projects they are working on are presentable. Knowing software engineering means anything can break at any point. A daily report on when the program projects they're working on are presentable. I mean, it's presentable at any time. Depends on what you expect from the presentation. Okay. Alright, where do I want the supports? Like there? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Kind of. Asgron says nobody knows what to expect. They literally said presentable. I mean, let me show you my awesome code. Presentable. What are we talking about here, Asgron? Are we talking about elected officials supervising software engineers, or are these like actual lifetime bureaucrats supervising software engineers? I mean, in a way, if it's elected officials, you kind of expect that because, you know, they're elected. They're not experts. Federal Network Agency of Germany. Wait, it's their full-time job? It's like their career? It's their career to manage software engineers? They're not elected into that position? It's their actual full-time job. Come on. I mean, okay. I mean, why don't they just promote actual software engineers into management roles? That's weird. That's so weird. Anyway, management, am I right? I mean, Germany... The thing is, like, if it's some sort of third world country, which, before we made jokes about Germany being a third world country, if it's some sort of, like, a developing country where they don't yet have the expertise, you would kind of expect that to happen. But not Germany. Germany should have the expertise. right? They should have enough expertise to have software engineers also be managers. What are we looking at? I'm not sure what I'm looking at. So this Asgrant says they have them, but they don't work in the government. That's why they lease all projects to companies. Well, yeah, okay. This is glass. Should probably knock that out. And then this part, not this one. This part, I think are slabs down here. Oops. Slabs down there. Or do I slabs down there? I'm not sure. I think I do, but it's gonna get a bit awkward there. Maybe I knock this back by one. Or like 2. But that's a challenge for every government though, Asgron. Like, figuring out how to get the best people. I mean, I was trying to think of a better way of saying that, because you're not going to get the best people. Trying to get like halfway competent people to work for a government, knowing that they'll like make less money than in industry, right? Unless the government job pays more. But then you'd have like political people deciding how to like allocate a lot of money, which is also kind of a problem. If they do pay government workers more. And it's going to say software engineers are really underpaid in Germany compared to any other engineer. Yeah. I mean, there's also that problem. Do you think it's because it's software, as in it's easier to outsource? Because software, I mean, you can't really outsource a hardware engineer because the hardware is literally a thing that's fixed in place. But software engineering, you can kind of outsource to China or something, or some other country. Is that why? And if that's the case, does that mean that the German government should outsource to China? Outsource their software stuff? I don't know. I don't know if that's a good idea either. Next one, there's a lack of people who want to learn software engineering. Alright, close that. And fill that in. Cut that back. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, maybe they should like subsidize software engineering, or like, you know, have scholarships for software engineering. There are ways to, well, there aren't any fast ways to deal with skills shortage except for migrants, inviting more migrants in. But in the long term, I guess you can like special scholarships for software engineering. I'm going to end the stream for today here. When I come back next week, I continue working on this trackway, one persistor segment at a time. It's looking kind of good right now, right? That tunnel looks cool, very futuristic. Escron says, yeah, that friend who works at the government got a scholarship and she hates her job deeply. Well, that's halfway there. They got the scholarship part. Next, they need to work on the management part. Alright, see you next time.